You know the feeling, right? You're staring at this huge pile of research, or maybe a bunch of messy notes, and you've got to somehow turn it all into a presentation that actually makes sense. That jump from just text to a compelling visual story is always a massive hurdle. But what if that whole struggle, that entire process, could just disappear? What if it could all happen in one simple, smooth workflow? This quote from ZDNet just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures what it's like using these new, powerful AI tools. You're constantly switching between being completely blown away by what they can do and feeling kind of weird about what it all means for us. And the tool we're looking at today, Google's NotebookLM, is the perfect example of that feeling.
So that problem we were just talking about, it actually has a name. It's called the translation gap. It's that awful, time-sucking process of trying to translate all your raw material, your facts, your data, your big ideas, into something clean and visual. It's why a brilliant idea can get totally lost in a wall of text.
And make no mistake, the cost of this gap is huge. It's not just about the hours you and I waste messing with fonts and trying to align boxes. No, it's about fantastic ideas getting locked away in boring documents. It's about all the people out there who learn visually, who we just leave behind. It is a genuine roadblock to actually communicating and understanding each other. So, what's the fix? Well, the solution being offered here is a totally new flavor of AI. I want you to imagine an assistant that has the creative eye of a top-tier designer, but the analytical brain of a research scientist. And, this is the most important part, it's completely 100% grounded in your facts. This is the big idea behind the new tools inside NotebookLM. What really makes this thing tick is a concept called grounded AI. You see, unlike a normal chatbot that just pulls its answers from the entire messy internet, NotebookLM works inside a walled garden. It only knows what you tell it. It works only from the documents and the links you upload. For anything that needs to be factually accurate, this is an absolute game changer. And this really shows you the different mindsets here. Most AI image tools, they're built to make cool, pretty pictures, right? But a lot of the time they're just guessing. NotebookLM, which is powered by Google's Gemini 1.5 Pro, is built for something else entirely: precision. It actually reads your stuff and then creates visuals that are factually tied to your content.
And the best part? Using it is ridiculously simple. It's just 3 steps. First, you upload your sources. You can throw in PDFs, websites, whatever. Second, you just write a quick prompt to tell it what you want. And third, you hit generate. That's it. It takes the entire process of research, analysis, and design and just crushes it down into a few seconds.
The ways you can use this are pretty much endless. You can turn that super dense academic paper into a story people actually want to follow, or take your stream of consciousness notes from a meeting and boom, you've got a polished deck. You can even upload slides you already have and tell it to restyle them. It's incredible for everything from visualizing data to just brainstorming new ideas. So, how much of a difference does it really make? Well, get this. An academic analysis found that it led to an 87% reduction in the time it takes to create presentation materials. That's just staggering. Think about what you could do with all that time back, focusing on the actual ideas instead of the formatting. Okay, so we've talked about the professional world. Now let's switch gears and look at an area where this could be truly revolutionary: education. For both teachers and students, the possibilities here are pretty mind-blowing. For students, there's this feature called the Studio Suite, and it's basically a superpower. You upload your class notes, and it can instantly generate all of your study materials for you. We're talking flashcards, practice quizzes with the answer keys, full-on study guides, even mind maps to show you how all the ideas connect. And teachers get some really powerful options too. They can create what are called presenter slides. Those really clean, simple visuals you use when you're giving a live talk. Or they can generate detailed decks, which have all the information written out, perfect for sending to students to read on their own time. But the customization gets even crazier. You can tell the AI what kind of presentation you're giving, so if you want to start a new unit with a big, inspiring story, you can ask for a TED-style deck. If you're presenting serious research, the academic style will give you that formal feel. It can even create a high-energy startup pitch for a student project. It's wild. So this all sounds pretty incredible, right? Maybe almost a little too easy? And that brings us to the really important, kind of tricky question. We're getting rid of a ton of friction from the creative and learning process. But is that actually a good thing? This quote really gets to the heart of the whole debate. You know that struggle, that feeling of wrestling with a hard idea until it finally clicks? That's friction. And that's often where the real deep learning happens.
So if the AI does all that heavy lifting for us, what are we losing in the process? These are the serious questions we have to start asking. When something becomes this convenient, are we just skipping over the chance to build our critical thinking skills? Could leaning on these tools too much actually make it harder for us to remember things on our own? And let's be honest, is there a risk that it just makes us intellectually lazy?
And here's a crucial point. The tool itself warns you that it's not perfect. It flat out says the outputs are AI-generated and can have mistakes. In one review, it literally misspelled Berkeley. So that just drives home the point. A human still needs to be in charge. The AI can give you a fantastic first draft, but you still have to be the editor-in-chief.
And, on a practical note, there are some limitations. Right now, it exports the slide decks as PDFs that you can't really edit. This has been a real point of frustration for people who want to tweak the final designs. There are workarounds, yeah, but it's an extra step you have to take.
So, where does all this leave us? Well, the smartest way to look at this technology, I think, isn't as a replacement for our brains. It's as an incredibly powerful partner. It's a tool that's here to boost our abilities, not to automate us out of the picture.
So the big takeaway, especially for education, is to treat this like scaffolding. The slides the AI generates, that's not the end product. That's the starting point. It's the structure that's meant to spark a discussion and push you back to the original sources to do that hard, critical work where real learning happens. In the end, what this tool really is an amplifier. The AI can take our data and build a story for us at lightning speed. And what that means is that the important question is no longer about how we create things. The technical stuff is getting easy. The truly human job, the thing that matters more than ever, is deciding which stories are actually worth telling in the first place.